In Episode 9 of Pokémon Generations, the Delta episode comes to life as Deoxys does battle with Mega Rayquaza. This episode was just simply badass. Mega Rayquaza versus Deoxys in space is one of the most visually appealing Pokemon battles that I've ever seen from the series. It was one of my favorite aspects of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and actually getting to see it in anime form was just plain satisfying. Again, this is Pokemon Generations. It's a short, so the story is very simple, following Gabby and Ty as they're trying to investigate the Moss Deep Science Center so that they can learn what this giant object was that crashed into a meteorite. Of course, that object was a Mega Rayquaza, which was being controlled by its trainer, which, just the image of a trainer going into space with a spacesuit, riding on top of a Mega Rayquaza, doing battle with this intergalactic Pokemon amongst the stars, is just epic. Just seeing Rayquaza actually plow into the meteorite is fantastic. There's a lot of impact behind it. And of course, the formal introduction of Deoxys in this episode just makes it seem so evil. I especially love that it's able to go through its various different forms in this battle, through speed, defense, and attack, using all of its signature abilities to not only attack the Mega Rayquaza, but also trying to go after the trainer as well, and even showing off some of its, regenerative abilities, which are not unlike the T-1000 from Terminator 2. In fact, I'd have to say that was probably my favorite scene, when you get the shot of the trainer who's hanging out on this satellite, watching his Mega Rayquaza fire all of these super destructive blasts at Deoxys as he's flying around, dodging the abilities, and then Deoxys just comes by, swoops in, and starts cutting up this massive satellite, just barely missing the trainer. It's really edge-of-your-seat type of stuff that I love from Pokemon Generations, and that definitely made this one of the more action-packed and fun episodes that I've seen from the series. And just like in the actual games, the trainer has the option of capturing Deoxys, and he does just that in this episode. I love the little detail of him throwing the Ultra Ball, which suddenly slowly moves through space, collides with Deoxys until it suddenly captures it. And what a nice detail, the fact that it's actually an Ultra Ball. If this were any other Pokemon anime, it would simply just be a Pokeball, but anyone who plays the games know that's going to be incredibly difficult to actually make that happen, and I'd say 99% of the time, we're going to use an Ultra Ball or a Master Ball to pull off that catch. So what's the rundown on Episode 9 of Pokemon Generations? A super satisfying and action-packed episode. It's hard to deny the badassery of Rayquaza and Deoxys, and their overall rivalry with each other has always been very interesting. In the past, it was only subtly hinted at, but in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, they managed to incorporate it into the story and in the post-game, and turned it into what I think is probably one of the best post-game experiences from any Pokemon video game. And seeing it in anime format, especially the amazing animation sequences that they're doing with Pokemon Generations, made this one of the more entertaining episodes from the series. Lots of fluidity, lots of impact, and also demonstrating that the Pokemon world is incredibly dangerous. That kid who flies up into space has some balls. And you know what the coolest thing is? That kid is you. Really, what more can I say? This episode was just action-packed and plain awesome. The battle between Deoxys and Rayquaza was incredibly satisfying and kicks the shit out of that Rayquaza and Deoxys movie, which actually came out years ago. This short managed to eclipse that in just about every single way. It's amazing what they can do with 5 minutes, and that was definitely one of the best things about this week's episode of Pokemon Generations, which continues to make me beg for a full-fledged anime version of this series. Check out this week's episode. It was awesome. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire fans are definitely going to dig this one. So I'm totally grooving on this week's episode of Pokemon Generations, which is why I'm going to give this episode a 5 out of 5. Check it out, Pokemon fans! If you have not watched the episode, I will put a link in the description box below so that you can check that out. If any of you did watch the episode, please leave me a comment in the comment section below telling me what you thought about this week's episode. Are you a fan of Rayquaza or Deoxys? Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Did you have a favorite scene? Are you enjoying Pokemon Generations so far, and do you want to see more animated shorts like this in the future, or even a full-fledged series? Make sure to tell me in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, that way you'll be able to see all of our latest Pokemon videos, anime reviews, and even our weekly podcast show. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. And as always, stay dandy, baby.